Hi guys. So I want to talk to you about something that's kind of important. The whole thought behind this video is that people who struggle with mental illness are not crazy. I live with bipolar disorder, and look, living with bipolar disorder is scary as hell. I'll give you that. But it's not all this craziness and psycho, freakouts that it's all hyped up to be. People assume that because I'm bipolar, I'm crazy. If you think about it though, what exactly is normal? I'll give you a minute to think about that. If you think about what your normal is, your normal might look completely different from what somebody else's normal is. And your normal might be crazy to that other person's normal. Your normal might be crazy to an outsider. People who struggle with mental illness, we're just normal people. We're people who struggle with everyday things because these things can be triggers for us. Yes, I used the word trigger. On Twitter, user Eirin, spelled Eirin, and that's at Joseph Taylor, JOSEP Tyler TYLER, on 9/5/17 said it best, and I quote, "Triggered is a legitimate expression for mentally ill people and not a synonym for offended or insulted," end quote. Buddy Project responded with, "Quote this with something you wish more people understood about suicide and mental illness. #NSPM." One of my friends on Facebook shared these quotes, I should say. So I decided to open up about my triggers. Those triggers would be discussions or heated debates about severe physical and emotional abuse, as well as situations which kick my fight or flight mechanism into gear. These triggers can set off what I call bipolar rage. I actually black out during these times. I'm unaware of what I'm saying, what I'm doing. I actually need people around who are going to remind me of what I've done during those times. I can't remember. There's times where I still have blank spots. I can't remember what I've said, what I've done. Nothing. I still have blank spots. And I still have those triggers every day. I have to watch out for them. I have to keep myself calm, or else it happens. There are legitimate triggers in my life that I have to watch out for. And mentally ill people do have these triggers. But we're lucid enough to know that we have these triggers. I believe that the triggers that I have are because of the abuse that I suffered growing up. I'm exploring them with my psychologist. The problem is, governments will cover psychiatrists who will give you pills. But the government and insurance companies make it almost impossible to seek psychologists and have it covered. People who suffer with mental illness need psychologists, not just psychiatrists who will hand out pills and dole out pills. Think about it for a second. If you broke your leg, would you expect pills to fix that? Probably not. You'd go to the doctor, have the doctor set the brake, probably wear a cast or a boot of some sort. You might need some physiotherapy afterwards to build up that muscle again, right? After the wound is set properly. And then you'd probably be okay. You might suffer with a little bit of pain here and there afterwards, but you'd be okay, right? And of course, this depends on the severity of the break, much like mental illness depends on the severity of the mental illness. you would need to work on it, right? You'd have to work on the break and where the break was. You'd have to continue to work on it. The difference with mental illness is you can see a broken bone. You can't see mental illness. Say you have generalized anxiety disorder, okay? Are pills going to be the only thing that can help you? No, they're not. They can be helpful to your symptoms, much like pills can be helpful to your symptoms after you break a bone. You take painkillers, they'll help. You can take, anti-anxiety medication, and it'll help your symptoms. But you still need to get to that root cause in generalized anxiety disorder. What is causing your anxiety? What started the anxiety? You have to get to the root cause, set the break, if you will, or the problems are going to keep coming back. They're going to keep getting worse even. It's going to keep causing problems. Psychologists do that. They're paid to help set our brakes and provide physiotherapy of the mind. Insurance companies and the government don't cover these necessaries and oftentimes life-saving practices. That's why we lose so many to suicide. That's why mental illness seems so scary. It's because it's not being treated in the right way. Individuals just can't afford the care they need. They can't afford the care they know that will help, so they don't go. The problems arise. People end up having panic attacks. They commit suicide. They fly into these bipolar rages that I have. They have psychotic breaks from reality. They're hospitalized. They're put into institutions where more pills are put down their throats. They're not getting the help they need. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, why can't my friend or my loved one just talk to me? And I can answer that for you. People who suffer with mental illness, we already feel like we are a burden. And it has nothing to do with you. A lot of the times it just doesn't. We hate struggling through this, and we hate knowing that you have to watch us struggle. Knowing that you have to watch us struggle is oftentimes too much to bear for us. We fake smiles, we fake laughs, we push past our boundaries, we pretend everything's okay. And it's because we know that you can see us struggling, and we hate ourselves for it. And we take that on, and it just makes us feel worse, honestly. It's another reason that we need psychologists. We need it covered. We need to be able to afford psychology. We need somebody who's detached, who can look at it from the outside, and who can help us work through it. People who struggle with any mental illness, be it schizophrenia, be it bipolar disorder, be it generalized anxiety disorder, depression, be it social anxiety, any mental disorder, any mental illness, anything, they're perfectly capable of lucid thought. It just seems harder for people on the outside to understand that and to connect the dots if they don't know the triggers and if they can't comprehend what's going on inside of our heads. If help hasn't been provided in the way that it needs to be provided and the way that it needs to go to help set those brakes, it looks crazy to you guys. I guess my whole thing is psychology needs to be covered by the government, by insurance companies. Even if the government's not covering it, insurance companies should be. It's necessary. It's life-saving. We aren't crazy. We just need a little bit of help. Just like the guy down the street with a broken leg. That's all. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, any comments, if you think I'm wrong or you think I'm right, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Have a good night, everybody.